On August 5, 2025, Australia mourned the loss of a true pioneer, a man whose voice and vision shaped the dawn of Australian rock and roll. Col Joye, born Colin Frederick Jacobson, passed away at 89, leaving behind a legacy that spanned nearly 7 decades. Known for hits like Bye Bye Baby and Heaven Is My Woman, S-Love. He was the first Australian to score a #1 record nationwide, a trailblazer who brought rock to a nation hungry for its own sound. His death, following a long battle with health issues, marked the end of an era, but his music and influence endure. From his humble beginnings in Sydney's working-class suburbs to discovering the Bee-Gees and building an entertainment empire with his brothers, Col's life was a tapestry of triumphs, setbacks, and unwavering passion. A devoted family man, a generous philanthropist, and a beloved figure whose smile lit up stages and hearts. His story is one of resilience and heart. Today we celebrate Col Joye's extraordinary journey, his cause of death, age, family, net worth, lifestyle, and biography, a tale of a man who gave Australia its rock and roll soul. Colin Jacobson was born on April 13, 1936. In Sydney, New South Wales, into a family where money was tight but love was abundant. The son of George and Minnie Jacobson, he grew up in a modest home, one of 4 siblings brothers, Kevin and Keith, and sister Carol. His childhood was shaped by the post-war grit of Sydney's suburbs, where he and his brothers would kick a ball in the streets or tinker with music in their spare time. At 14, Col left Temple High School to help support the family, taking a job as a jeweler salesman. But music was his true calling. By 1957, at 21, he joined his brother Kevin's band, the KJ Quintet, playing rock and roll at local dances and movie theaters. A clairvoyant suggestion led Colin to adopt the stage name Col Joye, and when the band landed a gig at the Manly Jotsorama, they became Col Joye and the Joy Boys, with Keith joining on bass. Those early days were electric, filled with the raw energy of youth and the thrill of a new sound sweeping Australia. Col's warm voice and boy-next-door charm made him a standout in a music scene dominated by American and British acts. In 1959, Col Joye's star soared. His first single, a cover of Lloyd Price's Staggerly, set the stage, but it was his third single, Bye Bye Baby, written by American Frank McNulty, that hit #3 on the Kent Music Report charts, backed by the soulful harmonies of the Sapphires. That same year, oh yeah, rocketed to #1, holding the top spot for 4 weeks and making KL the first Australian to achieve a nationwide chart-topping hit. Songs like Rock and Rollin' Clementine and Yes Sir That's My Baby followed, cementing his place as a rock and roll pioneer. He became a regular on Brian Henderson's Bandstand, charming audiences for 14 years with his clean-cut, imagic contrast to the wild energy of Johnny O'Keefe. In October 1959, Col and the Joy Boys performed at Lee Gordon's Rock and Roll Spectacular at Sydney Stadium, footage of which was later rediscovered in 2020 for the film Rock and Roll. Touring with bandstand acts like Judy Stone and Little Patty, Col brought rock to every corner of Australia. In 1960, he wrote Bad Man for Conway Twitty, a top 20 hit that showcased his songwriting talent. Those years were a whirlwind of success, as Col's voice carried Australia's rock dreams to the world. The 1960s brought both glory and challenges. Col and the Joy Boys became the first Australian rock band to hit the American Billboard charts in 1959, touring the US with Billy Thorpe and the Aztecs. But the British invasion, led by the Beatles, shifted the music landscape, dimming Col's chart success. Undeterred, he diversified, performing ballads and later country music. In 1961, while in Surfer's Paradise, Col discovered 3 young brothers, Barry, Robin, and Maurice Gibb, performing as the Bee Gees. He signed them to Joy Music, and their vocals graced his 1963 single, Starlight of Love. In 1966, he performed for Australian troops in Vietnam, near the Battle of Long Tan, a moment of pride he later called humbling. By the late 1960s, he and Kevin founded Joy Enterprises, Joy Music, and Otta Studios in Glebe, building a powerhouse that managed artists like the Bee Gees and Andy Gibb. Their business acumen shone, but Col's heart remained on stage, where his performances radiated warmth. In 1973, he roared back with Heaven Is My Woman's Love, a country-tinged hit that topped the Go Set charts, proving his enduring appeal. Cole's life wasn't without hardship. In 1990, while pruning a neighbor's tree with a chainsaw, he fell 6 meters onto brick paving, striking his head and falling into a coma. The accident left him with serious back and shoulder injuries, and doctors gave a grim prognosis. Yet Cole's resilience shone through. He made a full recovery, returning to perform in the 2002 Long Way to the Top tour alongside Normie Rowe and Brian Cadd, strumming his ukulele with a smile that won over audiences. Normie Rowe later said, "Cole was my idol. I wanted to be that kind of singer, genuine, warm." The accident led Cole to retire from regular performing, but he never left music, occasionally taking the stage for special events. His entrepreneurial spirit also faced trials. In 2012, a family feud tore apart Jacobson Entertainment, sparked by tensions over the roles of Cole's daughter Amber and Kevin's son Michael in managing the Dirty Dancing musical. The dispute led to lawsuits and Kevin's 2011 bankruptcy, a painful chapter for the brothers who had built an empire together. Yet Cole's generosity endured as he quietly supported charities and mentored young artists. Cole's lifestyle was a blend of modesty and passion. His net worth, estimated at $2 million in 2020, came from his music career, record sales, and the success of Joy Enterprises and Jacobson Entertainment. Unlike modern celebrities, Cole lived simply in Sydney, driving a modest Holden Commodore rather than flashy cars. He loved spending evenings at local pubs, sharing stories with fans, and was often seen at Sydney's beaches, where he'd surf in his younger years. His home was a treasure trove of memorabilia, gold records, a 1998 Australia Post stamp honoring. "Oh yeah? And his Mate guitar, which he gifted to Normie Rowe in his later years, saying, 'I won't be needing it on stage anymore.'" Cole was a philanthropist supporting children's hospitals and music programs, often performing at benefit concerts without fanfare. His love for music extended to collecting vintage records, and he'd spend hours at home listening to Elvis Presley and Johnny Cash, influences that shaped his sound. His life was grounded by family and community, a reflection of his working-class roots. Family was Cole's heart. He married Dallas Dawson in 1970 in a joint Fiji wedding with his sister Carol and bandstand, regular Sandy Scott, together. Cole and Dallas raised 2 children, Clayton and Amber, who grew up surrounded by music. Amber joined Jacobson Entertainment in 1997, while Clayton pursued a career outside the spotlight. Cole's brothers Kevin and Keith were his musical partners in the Joy Boys, and sister Carol managed bandstand acts like Sandy Scott. In 2013, pilot named Malcolm Hansman claimed to be Cole's son from a past relationship with his mother Ingrid, but Cole declined a DNA test, and the matter faded quietly. Cole's devotion to Dallas and his children was unwavering. He often spoke of family dinners where they'd laugh over old bandstand tapes. Little Patty, who performed with Cole in Vietnam, recalled his warmth. He loved everybody, and everybody loved him. His family's confirmation of his death on August 5, 2025, via Ben Fordham's 2 GB radio show, brought tributes from across Australia. With fans on X sharing memories of his infectious smile, Cole's final years were marked by health struggles. In 2022, at 85, he faced undisclosed health issues, prompting Ben Fordham to dedicate airtime to his music, saying, "We're hoping Cole's near a radio." Though specifics of his ailments were private, his 1990 accident likely left lasting effects, and by 2025, his health had deteriorated. On August 5, 2025, Cole passed away at 89, as confirmed by his family. The cause wasn't publicly detailed, but posts on X and news reports suggest it was linked to his long-term health challenges. Normie Rowe called him a true gentleman, while little Patty mourned a hero of our music. The Australian Recording Industry Association lauded his 6-decade contribution, noting his 1988 ARIA Hall of Fame induction and 1981 Order of Australia for philanthropy,